Welcome back to Soul Spy University Nighttime Edition.
Hello, guys.
Today, I would like to give an amazing review. There's an amazing podcaster out there named Jeff Mara. It's called the Jeff Mara Podcast. He covers all near-death experiences, which is my wheelhouse. I don't want you guys to think death is the end, okay? Death is the beginning. However, please stay here. We are all signed up for the summer camp for a reason, and let's make the best of our days, because even on the other side, when we're in paradise, we choose to come back for a reason. So remember, we're only here for a mere second. Enjoy it. In the meantime, I like to comfortably, I could be here, but I will totally research the shit out of the other side, okay? That's what life's about, expanding consciousness and following your desires, and that happens to be one of my desires. I don't know if it's because people died very close to me when I was very young, but either way, that's just where I go. I just happened, I guess it's very fitting that after I got my first condo, I, noticed that outside my kitchen windows was a funeral home. So twice a day as I eat raw green beans, I notice bodies going in and out, and the current funeral attire and wake attire. And I feel it puts things in perspective.
I like the way you're judging the way that people dress as they go to say goodbye.
Not judging, just, taking notes. So
Like, black suit, check.
So Jeff Mara did a podcast with a man named John Davis. He does many amazing podcasts about near-death experiences. I'm going to cover this one. John Davis, if you guys are listening, hello. Amazing. I love your channel, and have me on it if you want. I've had some as well. But I would like to introduce people to how to have these amazing experiences without dying, because that would be a little better. Anyway, so either way, John Davis, let's give amazing credit. He apparently toured the other side, okay? So he, throughout the whole podcast, explains he was dead for 8 minutes on Earth, clinically. And he felt like over there it was an hour. So I'm going to give a brief synopsis. Basically, he goes through the tunnel. He is then shown a tour. And I'm not going to get into great detail, but there's a few things I want to cover. He said he was shown the outside of different buildings. He said it felt realer than here. So it's not like we're elusive and non-physical. I just want to explain certain things for people that's never heard near-death experiences before, because I've been studying it for over a decade, and I'm noticing common synchronicities, such as it's realer than here. We are physical there, except we're young and vibrant. And he said what many say, which is we're all around 30. And just like, so basically he was shown the outside of buildings and meadows and everything. And each thing is assigned to different parts of the afterworlds. They kept referring it to him as the other side, okay? So what's interesting is I'm listening to this podcast. I listen to many a day as I'm doing mundane things, because I need to be like having my mind expanded as I do dishes and stuff. And at one point it caught me so, like, it brought me right back to a dream I had a year and a half ago. He was describing the inside of a building that was literally what I experienced a year and a half ago. So basically, a year and a half ago, I was with my boyfriend, and like any relationship, we weren't perfect. And I just remember I was in my condo, and I was in this room that I used to get dressed. And instead of the mirror there that is on the wall that connects to my bedroom, it was almost like an entryway to my bedroom. Mm-hmm. And everything was in like this kind of wood, like everything was different in a way. And I realized, I was like, babe, now he was in the dream downstairs in the condo. my condo in real life has like 5 stairs. And he's like, what? And I was like, something's up. And I'm like looking through the doorway, and I feel like eventually in the dream, I was like, oh my God, this is one of these alternate timelines that I've studied. You okay?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. Sorry, it's late. A lot of wine.
Okay. So hang on a second. So I was like, something's up. And then as I go through the hallway, I was like, I think I was about to say, like, I think we're in one of these alternate timelines or something where things change around us. Credit to Cynthia Sue Larson. Everyone find her. That's a whole other story that's hilarious. remind me, Tommy, we have to do a podcast on Cynthia Sue Larson. So that would be hilarious because she's amazing. But I would just, whenever I'm making fun of people, guys, it's not the people. I'm making fun of myself in regards to the people. Just know that. So anyway, and you guys will know why when we do it. Anyway, so I'm like, oh my God, it's one of these alternate timelines. And I went to go tell him. And then like, instead of 5 stairs, there was 2 stairs, and the whole downstairs was different. It was open and just a couch, and he's sitting on it and his arms on the couch like this. And like, he's looking at a flat screen TV. And I assumed he was looking at football or something. And he's just so settled and good within himself, and his macho-ness, and, you know, very like, it just, for the first time ever, I felt, I don't want to say upgraded, but like, you know, at home, like maybe this skipped a few steps to when we were, you know, in that timeline I thought already married or something. Like, this was our home. He's comfortable and fine being himself, watching his football thing. I'm good being myself. Like, we're both living our best, you know, and good with each other and things. And I was just like, felt so relaxed in my sacral chakra, but upgraded in general. Anyway, I just remember the feeling of this place was so like open and clear and home, and like, I don't know. So back to the present, I'm cutting up vegetables or something. And in the middle of this Jeff Mara podcast with John Davis, he's explaining all these buildings and stuff. And the one he was explaining this one quote unquote library, he said, where they contain all the Akashic records. And he explained that there's rooms in this library. And if you go into each room, you go down 2 steps, and it's just a couch and a flat screen TV. And that's where anyone could sit and watch anything from the world. Because according to him, everything is recorded. Your entire life is recorded at all times. And everything in history is recorded.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's amazing. I mean, I kind of knew this on a very innate level, but
Yeah.
and you know, I have stories about that as well. But it just gave me this immense, all of a sudden, it's one of those stopping time and space moments, this insight moments where I thought about a year and a half ago, that dream. I was right there in the dream again. And I was like, oh my God, you know? And this brings us to our next topic of dreams. And what are they, and where do we go when we are laying down for however many hours, not conscious here? You know, this is something I've always wondered about. So that's our next podcast. And yeah, so that was fascinating. So that was one part of it.
That's crazy. And what else did he see in his place? Like, other than that, like, what, like, did they give him any information, or did they,
Oh my God.
or was it just
Amazing, amazing question, Tommy. They showed him every building. Is your reception good?
Yeah, no, I'm perfectly fine. And they told him.
Oh yeah, they
Okay.
showed him every building.
Okay.
I'm just gonna throw my phone over there in case that's messing up reception. They showed him every building. There's one, of course, for life reviews, which I've heard about in almost every near-death experience ever, where someone watches their entire life. And, you know, you see where you feel the emotions you've caused others, but tenfold. Because really, we're all one kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's so much more to this. You know, they showed him meadows. You can play sports all day long because you're so young. You don't get tired. No, this is amazing. This is heaven. You know, he said it's realer than here. There's a place where all your pets go. You just play with them. Like here, we're so, one consistency of NDEs I've noticed is here we're so used to death. You know, I make bright of the concept of it because I know what it is and I want to share that to others. But in earthly term, you know, it's not a good thing. And we're honestly around it all the time without knowing it. You know, the idea of it, you know, where flowers are dying, where we're consuming it in a way, where we're kind of like apparently smelling it in the air without even knowing it. Whereas on the other side, you don't even realize how much you were immersed in it here until you're on the other side and everything just smells of youth, like flowers, like fresh flowers all the time. He said the grass was alive. This is very common in near-death experiences. So more that he mentioned, here's where it gets really interesting. And then I can't end without leaving the very amazing end point, which is so amazing. So don't let me end this podcast without this end point. So always remind me, okay? So he also showed me a planetarium, he said. Okay, he mentioned he saw in the dream a planetarium. And he said they showed him the stars and they showed him the planets that we see. And he said, from Earth, this is what you guys see. And it showed the stars and the planets we know, right? He said, however, this is what we see. And it showed all these other planets that contained life. So many planets and so many stars that contain life. There's billions, he said, outside our solar system, billions and billions. And that this planet is the hardest one to be on. And I remember just feeling, I've heard this a million times before, but the way he said it gave me chills. And like to my heart and soul was like, okay, thank God. Thank God. I'm not being dramatic in how I feel all the time. We're all so busy trying to manage our emotions, you know, all these things. And sometimes we feel horrible about how we feel or how we're dealing with things. And really it's like, once you hear that, it's like sigh of relief. Let's give ourselves a break. We are in damn boot camp. But it's very interesting because honestly, once he said that, it was like click. I always wrote poems about the stars. I always expanded beyond this in consciousness. Why do we all love the stars? And finally, it came to me. I had a feeling before, but this expanded it tenfold. I had a feeling before. I was like, you know what it is? Every lifetime, that's the one thing consistent. No matter where you lived on Earth, you look up and you see the stars. With what he said, no matter what lifetime, not even on this planet, and any planet ever, what is the one thing you look up and see? He didn't say this, but this is what I connected in my brain when I heard him say that there's billions of planets and that this is the hardest to live on. So not only was my theory, I felt like a little correct before, which is no matter what lifetime you're in, you're looking up on the stars, you know? But now it goes even farther where we could have been on so many other planets before this. And no matter what atmosphere we're in, forget Earth, right? No matter what we look up. I mean, it's deep already when you think no matter what lifetime you were here, you're looking up, whether you're in Spain, Argentina, no matter what time zone you're in, one thing remains constant. You look up and you see those stars and you see the moon, right? no matter what planet you're on, no matter what solar system you're in any other lifetimes, you look up. Now with this added information in my head from what he said, you look up and you see the stars as well there. So it goes far beyond what we have signed up to know here. I mean, obviously we signed up to know more if you're listening to this podcast, and if, for us, because you can hear me right now and I am the one that researches it, so I signed up to know more as well. But you know what I mean.
That's crazy. I mean, other than this one experience, did he have any others? Did they say that, or?
I think it was just this one, but to me, forget it. This one's amazing enough. Unfortunately, like most near-death experiences, he came back very depressed for a while, because this is not where he was for a while. He went to paradise and now he's back here. It's a whole thing. I would think
Yeah.
I would think I would love it. I would think I would take the icing from the cake and live on. Like, I cannot wait. Like, I'm going to infuse that into this reality somehow. I'm going to spread this information, which is what they all seem to do, at least most of them, when they feel comfortable enough.
Mhm.
However, they all seem to be really upset after, because they want to be there. And I get it. And, I always joke, like, where's my NDE? Like, I had a near-death experience, but where's my icing on the cake? I literally almost died. I don't remember any of this. However, I've been told many times I'm very connected to source, and I am some sort of medium or something. I don't claim to be this at all, guys. Okay. But I do have the ability to take from these experiences, feel it, and really resonate with it, and sprinkle it all over everyone else, as well as all sorts of ways to expand consciousness that I want to sprinkle all over everybody else too, like alternate realities and what you can derive from those actual realities. I know this sounds crazy, but to heal and put into your current reality now, or go into the other one if you want. So I think our consciousness is so unlimited, and it's just what you feel comfortable entering into. So the last thing that I want to share with you about his experience, I mean, it was all so amazing. I want to share all of it, but for time's sake, I'm just going to share one more thing, unless you have any more questions.
No, no. It's kind of like, it's kind of something I want to listen and read about a little bit, but not really. It
Yeah,
seems pretty cut and dry.
I would have a million, and that's why I listen to so many.
Well,
But
my only question is, why him? Like, why?
well, we're all very special souls. I know that sounds crazy to you, but we are.
All right. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm a skeptical person, so I'm like always one of those people that's like, come on, really, you? All right.
Well, we all came from there. That's how I feel.
Um,
And you know what?
did
They
they?
all are very modest and say, why me? Like, they're all just like what you're saying. So here's the part that we end on, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was gonna just simply ask, how did he die?
I mean, they always get into that story. To me, that's not important. I mean, to be honest, if you really must know, he was allergic to anesthesia, and they put him under anesthesia.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But basically, yeah, they all don't feel, just like you shared just now, in some way. They all feel so not worthy, because here's what ends up happening. And again, um, this is not to say anything is wrong or right, but here's what I've noticed in all these experiences. They say that Jesus comes at the end. So that's what he said. He said there was this magnificent man. Like, and whenever they're all in the presence of this man in any near-death experience, they feel so not worthy, and they just feel like, how can they? And they just want to cry out of the love that they feel from him, and out of his magnificence, and the love they're feeling from him. And they said, I'm not worthy. So anyway, this amazing man sat by him. He said the light was so bright that he couldn't even look directly at him. And he had a white robe. I think he said a purple sash, which is so interesting. I've had my own experience. um, but yeah, I understand why they're hesitant to share such things, because I get it. This world needs to be ready for certain things. And I'm really glad that mostly is at this point, um, and I would hope more so. However, yeah, he said this man sat next to him and basically said, "You must know." Like he basically said, "They must know there is no death." And then he was back in his body. So it's like he was put there to get that message to come back and tell us this, which is so interesting because that's what my tiny little soul has been saying since I was so little,
Well, I mean, the churches tend to say the exact same thing too. All the religions, they all knock out the same exact, line.
And yet we're all scared to death.
Yeah, of course, because
Why
it's something different.
we're like that and come back? Whole different game. I'm personally not scared to death. I'm not trying to say like, I'm superhuman or anything like that, but I'm scared of white sauce. So that's how not superhuman I am. I'll tell you that. But and I'm scared of things that are very large that shouldn't be that large. So I'm not without fear. I'm not without fear, but death.
All right, you got more balls than me because I'm like, death. I don't know.
I get it. I get it. But I think, I think that's part of the human condition to be worried about death. That's part of our human body, so that
Yeah,
we
of
can.
course.
I mean, don't exit on your own. That's like, remember, I just want to remind the audience, we are only 1/3 of what we really are. So basically our higher selves and God decide when we go. We're all here for a reason. I know it's hard sometimes, but just hang on. We're only here for really a mere few seconds, and then we are back home in paradise for eternity. So I was going to mention someone else I spoke to about this, but I'll wait. But anyway, yeah, it's amazing. And let me see what else.
Oh, breaking the fourth wall, people. We sometimes prep. Sometimes.
What did you say, breaking the fourth wall?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Oh, it's a whole thing of, when you're like watching a show and then all of a sudden they start talking to you directly and you from the audience, like
Oh,
talking to you.
yeah, it's so funny. I mean, one more thing, it's really interesting how you start to realize who you are over time. So you know how like firefighters are made to be firefighters because people are running from the fire and
Yeah.
they're, yeah. So it's just sometimes in life, you don't like, real life experiences will show you who you are. Like there's been times I just met someone and we're about to go into, a busy street and then they almost get hit by a car, but I make sure, like, I don't save myself, I save them first. And it's like, oh my God, I didn't know I had this in me. And I actually feel really connected to the person after that because I'm like, and they're just like, cool, bye, it's like, okay, bye. But yeah, in a weird way, in very weird, uncomfortable situations, I seem to be just fine.
Hmm.
So, while someone's dying, you know, I'll definitely, like, it started out where if someone lost somebody, um, people don't know what to say. They feel weird. They clam up. They don't know what to do. They say, certain things. I'll literally go right towards the person, sit next to them, and just start, and just try and just transform, or at least attempt to. And I'm not taking credit for this. I don't know. You know what I mean? Transform their grief into hope.
Hmm.
So same thing with people that are dying. People get very weird about it. They don't know what to do. I'm right at it. Like I've had relatives that gave me really horrible experiences in life. And as they're dying, I literally go to them and I'm just waiting for that time. I'm private with them in a room. And once I'm private with them in the room, it just flows. And I'm just like, hey, and I feel really comfortable, just really just, it just flows out. And I'm just like, I just want you to know that you're about to go home. Like I make them, I don't know what it is, but it's not like I'm thinking about the words. I convert energy into like what they need to know. And that like, you know, they're going to be amazing. Like it's amazing on the other side. And this is what I've done with people through emails and, you know, before I got paid for sessions and stuff like that. But it's just interesting. Everybody has their little weird nook in life. So
Yeah.
I find it no mistake that I'm the one that ends up accidentally buying a condo near the funeral home because, I mean, of course, like any other person, while I'm there, I'm like, was anyone going to tell me about this? But you know what? More fitting for me because I think other people would be a little more traumatized by it. And I just have a humor about it, like, yep, life is short. And I also integrate quote unquote other side to my daily living all the time. There's a lightning storm where I am right now. Is it raining where you are?
No, it's not raining yet, but I think I see some lightning here and there.
I think it's pouring
Oh, I'm
on
not sure.
my planet.
Oh, doesn't sound like it's pouring here though.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
But
That is nuts. I would like to actually research this a little bit myself. I'm not gonna say it's gonna change a lot because I'm, you know, like I don't know. I
that's
don't know.
okay.
So, but this is actually very interesting, and thank you for sharing with us on this.
Thank you. And it's been a pleasure as usual. Oh, storm party,
Mhm.
thunder and lightning. Um, and thank you for your viewpoint, Tommy.
Of course. Thank you. Uh, like and subscribe, everyone, please.
Yeah, I
Uh,
get lost in
put
the
down-
atmosphere.
yeah, put your comments down below. Let us know what you want to hear, what you want us to talk about, things like that. And if you want a personal session with Christina, you can find her at
soulspyuniversity@gmail.com. And any other topics you guys want us to research, we will have many, many more podcasts on near-death experiences because this is, I mean, I could go on forever. But really, it's to transform grief into hope so that people don't feel hopeless with the remainder of their days here. Oh, interesting outside sounds, some chains in the rain. It's going to be an interesting night. And yeah, tell us in the comments what you would like us to research. And please hit the notification bell so we don't get lost in the atmosphere.
please. Thank you so much, everyone.
And if this helped you, God bless. And I hope it does. Bye.
Bye, guys.